Hello, so this is my presentation. I chose the Maya, Pueblo, and the Chinook people. The Maya, large stone cities with pyramids and temples, maize-based agriculture, and made palaces for the people who they believe descended from God. So yes, they did. They were very creative when it came to that. Pueblo, the farmers, they also cropped maize, organized religious centers, craft shops, and they did not migrate. They just kind of stayed there. The Chinook, they built cedar trees as houses fit up to 70 people, and then they had food, fish, and hunting. That's kind of their main thing they were doing food-wise. European colonization, the Maya and Pueblo both got colonized by the Spanish. However, Chinook got colonized by the British and then later American settlers. So, just the colonization. The Maya and the Pueblos are kind of more like they're more similar in the Chinook. They have their similarities, but they're also a little bit different. So from the quote, I got this quote from the article. There were infections in the New World before 1492 that were not present in the Old. And then from the quote from the American Yacht, the discovery of America unleashed horrors. Europeans embarked on a debauching path of death and destructive exploitation that brought murder, greed, and slavery, but diseases was deadlier than any weapon in the European arsenal. So later I'm going to talk about basically what these quotes are, but just to summarize it, I thought these two quotes were really great because it just kind of showed that the Europeans really did, they didn't just find the land inhabitable. There were people there, they had their advanced colonies, they were well established, but then they came and they brought the diseases and everything, and it's just kind of a sad thing that I didn't really realize until I read into it. So this is just a map of the Pueblos, and just so you can see the surrounding, they have surrounding the Hopla Way, surrounding territories, like larger territories. Smaller territories within the larger territories. So that's just a map of the Pueblos. This is also another map. This is a local tribe, the Malbillian-Dargan, and then you could just see from that is just also the Chichuma, I believe, and it just kind of show you the Chickasaw. And then this is the Lower Chinook, and you could see the Confederate tribes of the Siletz Indians, that's their local tribes around there. So you could also see the Kolawaki, and you could just see Lower Chinook, Confederate tribes of the Siletz Indians, and Multnomah. So the key points that I learned were that the land was very complex, civilized, and functional. The land was not vacant or uncivilized. The way it makes it seem is that as though it's uncivilized. Diversity amongst tribes, Maya, Pueblo, and Chinook had their own governments and customs. The maize agriculture was used throughout different tribes. It was a staple for Native American diets, and is also known as one of the three sisters, the corns, bean, and squash. I did not know that prior to this class. And just for the Old World and the New World. So the terms Old World and New reflect a European perspective because it makes it seem like America was empty land when founded. However, from the truth, these regions were all different. Cultures were ancient, developed civilization. The Old World had minimal serious diseases. However, when the colonizers came, they started to weaken the society. So it lets you see that New World, the New World bringing diseases, the New World bringing plagues, the New World bringing destruction, slavery. So you can see all those things. But the Old World is supposed to be bad, but they were well off, they were civilized, they had their own governments, their own customs. So you could really see how that effect it had on the Native Americans. So thank you though for watching. Have a good day.